is you saw something out there and everybody admits it and you didn't call a timeout. Mm-hmm. I know timeouts are at a premium at that situation, but so is not letting the other team score.
So, in other words, don't let Nate Gary play the guy with the
why even allow that to happen?
Yeah, I don't. There's so many other options.
Jim Schwartz should have seen that developing as soon as the check down came, and he should have gone, boop. Nope, not a chance. We're letting that happen.
There were a couple of things after the game that were very telling that definitely let you peel back the curtain. A lot of it was from Doug. Doug on that play at the end of the game, I got to look at the tape, with an epic eye roll to go along with it. That told you a lot.
Yeah.
It did.
Rodney McLeod saying, ideally we don't want Nate Gary on a wide receiver there. We'd like a cornerback. So it's like, cool. Thanks, Rodney. And then the other thing was also Doug Peterson on Zach Ertz. And saying that he needs to look at himself, Doug Peterson saying that Zach Ertz needs to look at himself, oh, hell yeah. And I'll say this, and we'll continue to talk about Jim Schwartz as the show goes on today. And just to wrap up that conversation for now, he's been lucky. Jim Schwartz has been lucky that the bigger problems to this point this season have been head coaching and quarterback play. Carson at least seems like he's gotten his act together and looks like he has played rather well. There's one play that really pissed me off about Carson Wentz in yesterday's game, and that was the first and 10 at the about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, where he could have either scrambled for a couple of yards, could have checked down to Richard Rodgers in the flat, get a couple of yards there. Instead, he took a sack for 3 yards and ended up setting up a 2nd and 13 on that play. And I'm like, either get rid of the football, either bomb it downfield, as apparently he was locked into downfield. And that was also the same possession following the Ebron turnover that you needed to cash in for points. You were down 31-29 at that point. You need to make a play. You need to get points on that drive. You end up trying to kick a 57-yard field goal, which I still don't get, and that's why Doug Peterson is also on my... Listening to Doug after the game talk about how one of your best players, quote-unquote best players, needs to help himself in Zach Ertz, I think summed up a lot offensively speaking, because you are relying on these guys to come off your practice squad. You're relying on these guys that you signed 2 weeks ago, like Travis Fulgham, who is the bright, shining light in this game. You're relying on guys like that to make plays for you, where the guy that has been one of your most consistent offensive threats in Zach Ertz is invisible. And I didn't at least buy into the pouting argument and the contract negotiations working its way onto the field. But how the hell do you not attempt to finish a route that ended up being an interception? Because he got bumped a little bit? Yeah. Was it illegal contact? Was it pass interference? Probably, but here's the deal. It wasn't, because it wasn't called.
No, right.
So instead of not following through and finishing that route, he just stands there and puts his arms up in the air? Like, that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
And the numbers he puts up are inexcusable over the last 2 weeks.
So you remember last year when Dan Orlovsky broke down some tape and he said, look, the receivers were off, like going one way when they should have stayed. And
fooling the quarterback.
Exactly. I think for whatever reason, whether it's he's got contract in his head, whether he's given up on plays, whatever. And look, I know Carson Wentz has been off this year, but I think more so Wentz is thrown to a spot that he's used to Ertz being to, and he's not getting there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if maybe he lost a step. Yeah, it very well could be.
He lost
at
4
29.
steps.
Yeah. So, think about that. You're in such a rhythm with a guy for 4 or 5 years, and you have become the best quarterback tight end duo in the league pretty much over that time period, and as far as catches go, and now you just can't seem to be on rhythm. I don't know if I can put that all on Wentz. I think it mostly has to fall to Ertz and their SEP or something.
I would, this isn't a hot take because I've thought about it for a long time. I would trade him before the trade deadline.
Well, what's his worth now?
If you wait any longer, it's going to be nothing, and then he's going to walk away in a contract dispute. I love Zach Ertz. You helped bring a Super Bowl here. It's clear to me.
You yesterday, because you said it like a year and a half ago that maybe you should put it in the back of your mind. And as much as I hate to say, you were right, Jamie Lynch.
Once Goddard's healthy, I don't have a problem with. I won't be devastated if they keep him or anything, but you're about to lose a lot of value on him.
Let's put it this way. Could there be a better scenario for Zach Ertz right now? Not that anyone ever roots for injury, and I'm not saying that, but if you're Zach Ertz and you want to cash in, wouldn't you rather be the only real option tight end-wise on this offense? And what has he done since it's only been him as a tight end? Actually, Richard Rodgers has put up better numbers than he has in the last 2 weeks. And that's inexcusable. And I don't
Fulgham had more yards than he has on the season yesterday.
Look, are we done with the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
Oh, I would have cut him 3 weeks ago.
Right. So, but are we done with the comparing things to J.J.? Because we know he's not good.
No, he's not. Travis Fulgham.
The variety of catches that you watched him make yesterday, from being harassed as he was making the catch to having to go up and get footballs. The 3rd and 12, I think it was, late in that game, went up and got it. The 3rd and 8 went up and got it as his hands were being hit by a defensive back.
One request.
What's that?
Can we get a different jersey number on him? It weirds me out.
I'm freaked out.
You don't like 13?
I see Aguilar every time, and I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, it's not him.
Yeah, speaking of seeing Aguilar, I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday. Something bad happens in the Eagles game. I forget what it was, but I tweeted it out. I'm like, oh, damn, I switch over to the Raiders-Chiefs game. Mm-hmm. Just as I switch over, car scrambling, bomb, touchdown, Aguilar. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. No, we got. Hey,
Fulgham, I like you too much to have that number on you.
I got my own problems. You know what I'm saying? When I look around at other teams in the division, I'm like, I got my own problems here with this Eagles team. The other thing that was just wild, going back to Zach Ertz, aside from just the not finishing his route on Carson Wentz's first interception of the game, and in my opinion, the only real legit interception that he threw, there was a 3rd and 5, I think, in the Eagles' first possession. And Wentz threw it at his feet. And threw it at Zach Ertz's feet. You don't even at least go down and try to get that? Trying to keep a drive alive? Like, the effort in this game from Zach Ertz just wasn't there. And I know a lot of people have been looking for contract dispute working its way onto the field. I feel like a lot of that has been a forced narrative to this point. Yeah, this game, you could see it in bright, shining colors. There's no other way to look at it other than he's letting off-the-field things affect his play on the field. Whatever it is, bottom line, I could use that Pro Bowl tight end right about now, so it's not all Travis Fulgham, deciding what this offense does.
So to Andrew and I on the postgame show last night, we're joined by Tim McManus, and I think Andrew asked him, like, yeah, do you think there's any way this contract stuff is weighing on him? And we kind of expected Tim to be like, nah, like Zach's a professional. And he went, it's hard to think that it doesn't.
Has he been the same player in the first 5 games?
Not even close.
Not even close. Not even
and
what
he
was.
said, Tim said, yeah, he said he let it affect him during training camp. He had a bad camp because this was hanging over his head.
He's getting a bad label around him. You know, at first he was so good, but he didn't get any yards after the catch because he went down so easy. Mm-hmm. And people rode that a little bit. But then you come with a 116 catch season, and that kind of calms down.
With broken kidneys.
But yeah, exactly. But then when you start to mentally check out, it seems, and it affects your play, and then you go back to, God, the guy goes down every time he gets touched. Well, I heard it a few times yesterday from people. The word soft is starting to surround him again. And it's like.
And he's the furthest thing from that.
I know. I don't know. Look, we called it in the first game. Me more so than you guys, so I won't lay blame on you. But I think I called him a pouty. He played like a pouty something. I was upset that I said it, to tell you the truth. But he did, and it hasn't seemed to have gone away.
Yeah, it was. It's only gotten worse, and in a time where it's supposed to get better, because you would expect him with no Dallas Goedert to be the one that steps up, and that hasn't been the case. Now, Doug Peterson is on the poop list.
Yeah, the field goal, you disagreed?
1,000% I disagree.
Wow. I had no problem with it.
I had none.
Idiotic.
I thought his third down play call was idiotic.
Oh, yeah. But
you 3-4 yards there in that situation, and you have to pass?
Yeah. My bigger issue on that play was Carson Wentz taking that sack. There's no way in hell he should take that sack. He got to the top of his drop, looked around, started the stepping off or dumping it down to Richard Rodgers, who was right there wide open in the flat. Would have been at least a 2nd and 5 situation. He takes a 3-yard loss on the sack.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what the hell? It was the first play that I looked at with Carson Wentz go, what the hell, man? And saying that was that late in the game actually made me feel good about Carson Wentz's performance. But not going for it on the 4th and 5, so you're going to go up 1 point, and you're going to hand the ball to Ben Roethlisberger, who only needs to get a field goal on your defense? Yeah, no, I'm going to go for that every single time. I painted the picture almost every day last week. If you give the ball to Ben Roethlisberger at the end of that game and it's close, game's already over. And you want to trust your defense to make a stop in that scenario?
Well, they just come up with a fumble.
Cool.
No, I know what you're saying, but I sat there and was like, all right, be in the moment, think of after the game what you're going to think, and I went through it, and I said, I'm okay with this.
I don't
like that he thinks that 57, 59, 61-yarders are chip shots. Like, I don't like that, and that goes back to the Cincinnati game. But no, in the moment yesterday and even now, I didn't have confidence they would have gotten on 4th and 5. You're losing the game there. You give yourself a chance to go up in the game. All right, then you got to put it on Schwartz, which isn't great. But, I'd rather do that than, I had absolutely no problem with it.
Did you see what Beathard did to them last week? You're going to give
No, I hear you.
Roethlisberger?
I hear you, but I'd rather take the lead there than take a chance of not getting a 4th and 5 game over.
I could not disagree with that more. Jim Schwartz, the guy I'd like to fire today. You want to trust him to make a stop with Ben Roethlisberger and a guy that's torched you all day and Chase Claypool. I would absolutely not have kicked that field goal. Would have gone.
I smell a pole coming up.
I was okay with it. Look, you should have a kicker that can make a 57-yarder.
Oh yeah, he's got to make that kick.
Even if he does, it's no gimme. I'm not saying that, but you would like to believe Jake Elliott can make that. I see 3 minutes to go in the game, a chance to take the lead. I take my odds with the defense. I do. I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense. Because Jim Schwartz sucks.
C.J. Beathard. Who's better quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger or C.J. Beathard?
Tough one. If I have a chance to take the lead late, I take it, and it may be naive, but I trust it.
Yeah, with that time on the clock, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I would take the lead there and take my chance. Look, I take the lead there. If the mindset of Doug Peterson is a 57-yarder is a chippy, which is okay. Take that 30. You take that lead 32-31, or that's what it would have been, right? 32-31.
Yeah.
And look, even in a selfish way, maybe it's not the greatest football play. I got the lead. It's on Jim Schwartz now with 3 minutes to go. I know he hasn't done anything, but I got to get my team in the lead first. Yeah, I'm all for going for the field goal.
This
there.
is a guy on 4th and 4 decided to go for it against San Francisco. And this is a guy that decided not to kick his 64-yard field goal against the Bengals.
I hear you. I am not I'm defending this decision. I thought it was right, but none of what he does makes sense. He says he's this, he does that, then he doesn't do that. Like, none of what Doug Peterson does could ever make sense to me. And that's my one thing. And the other thing, we've been getting on Jim Schwartz, and now we're going to Peterson. This is one of the dumbest football teams I've ever seen.
They're not very bright.
They aren't. And I'm sorry, that's a reflection of coaching. I mean, once again yesterday, a misdirection, and Brandon Graham is like all the way on the other side of the field when we've been begging for Jim Schwartz to tell his DNs, hey, listen, can we stay home, please? Stay home, please? Stay home, please. That never happens. They're just not smart.
Our boy Alex Singleton did not have. Now, he ended up making the play that actually prevented the touchdown, at least earlier than it would have been. But he was way out of position. I don't know if he was on man coverage just trying to follow a running back to the outside, but he was all the way on the other side of the field, ended up running the length of the field to try to make the stop, and he did. But, yeah, he got caught not staying home, unfortunately. I look forward to talking to our man Avonte Maddox tomorrow. And seeing what he makes of all this, because it is wild. Now, today at 8 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Adam Kaplan, Inside the Birds podcast. He'll help us sift through all of this that was this game yesterday.
Chase Claypool actually had 5 touchdowns. That was not an offensive pass interference.
Oh, yeah.
Where he put his hand on top of the guy's head just to, step over him? Yeah.
And you know what? That should not have been a pass interference on Darius Slay.
No, and that's why it made me think of it. It was an uncatchable ball.
They don't make that call anymore.
Yeah, not even a pass interference and an uncatchable ball on top of it.
I think they changed the rules and they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
You never see the hand over the head saying uncatchable anymore.
No.
There was
never.
2 awful aspects of yesterday: the broadcast and the refs. And look, it's not a reason that the Eagles lost the game.
I know, but it's down on my
list. But the technicality of calling the out-of-bounds forward progress stopped with the 20 seconds on the clock is such a ridiculous call.
That was horrible.
Because he got hit and spun around. You held him to that?
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, we're going to let you hear the smoking gun of Chase Claypool after the game. We're also, and this is just so indicting of Jim Schwartz and the Eagles defense entirely. Then we're also going to jump into one of the players that's not getting enough blame for how terrible a game he played yesterday. We'll get to that in a second. 610-632-0975, 610-632-0975. We got B-Hawk in Philly. We got open lines after that if you want to get in on the program. Talking a lot about Jim Schwartz today. And like I said, we'll let you hear the smoking gun from the Steelers side of the football when we come back here on Nice M.
Mark Farzetta with Bob Cooney and Jamie Lynch. Mornings on 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.